Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it. It's AFR LSU, your home for daily content on your favorite team, Fighting Tigers of LSU. And we're proud to be presented by BetUS, where this football season, get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use the promo code YouTube150. Now, enjoy the video. On Sunday, Carolina Insider, or Inside Carolina, reported that Bill Belichick is hiring Bob Diaco as his linebackers coach. Admittedly, an analyst leaving the staff wouldn't be a massive loss or something that I would lead a show with on a Monday. But this one is more significant than most. The question that I probably get asked the most when talking about Brian Kelly's staff, aside from Joe Sloan offensive coordinator questions, is when will Brian Kelly hire a special teams coordinator? And that's all been wrapped up since when he first showed up, year one. Didn't retain Greg McMahon. They were plumb awful on special teams, and that's been a sort of a pervasive question since. And my answer, especially in this cycle, has been no, he's not going to hire a special teams coordinator because he's got Bob Diaco. So let me tell you about Bob Diaco. For those that don't know, I'll give you the quick bio, and I'll come back and explain why this is such a significant loss and then how Brian Kelly starts to figure this thing out. So Bob Diaco is 51 years old, so still a relatively young coach. And, brother, he is all energy. But Bob Diaco played for the University of Iowa. He was a linebacker, began his coaching career back in 96 as a GA at Iowa. And he rose up through the ranks. Western Illinois, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan. Then in 2005, lands at Central Michigan with Brian Kelly. And he was Brian Kelly's co-DC and linebackers coach. He leaves and goes to Virginia, then in 2009 to Cincinnati as the defensive coordinator with Brian Kelly. A year later, Brian Kelly gets the Notre Dame job, takes Bob Diaco with him as his defensive coordinator, where he remains until he becomes the head coach at UConn in 2014. Three very less than stellar seasons at UConn. Diaco gets fired, makes his journey, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Louisiana Tech, Purdue, all a season each, was in the UFL for a second, and then Brian Kelly hired him in 2023 as an analyst. So this is the fourth time now Bob Diaco was on Brian Kelly's staff. What I omitted is at the beginning of Bob Diaco's career, before he became a defensive coordinator for Brian Kelly in 2005, the first 10 years of his career, Bob Diaco was a special teams coach. Running backs and special teams, linebackers, special teams, outside linebackers, special teams, co-DC, special teams. Like, he was a special teams coach for the first half of his career. Not the first half, I shouldn't say. The first, from 1999 until 2005, he was a special teams coach. So he has his root in coaching special teams. We'll get right back to the video, but did you know that BetUS also has a casino? For all of our followers here, if you like slots or live casino dealers, you can take advantage of BetUS amazing sign-up bonuses. 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 or 250% for crypto sign-up bonus up to $5,000 as well. Discover the BetUS Casino Playground. Maybe you're a slots enthusiast. BetUS, they've got the games to raise your pulse. You can test your skills with timeless classics. You can also explore the newest, hottest slots and feel that casino buzz with BetUS live dealer tables. Y'all take advantage of this great special. Sign up now. Get 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 and 250% sign-up bonus up in crypto up to $5,000. So Get ready for a rush with the BetUS Casino generous promotions and tournaments that make every play more rewarding. Sign up right now and experience the difference. Get your bonus. 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 and 250% crypto sign-up bonus also up to $5,000. Now, enjoy the rest of the video. So, bring it to the present. LSU is plumb terrible in 2022 on special teams. They bring Bob Diaco in as a defensive analyst. But remember, the NCAA changed the rule whereby analysts can now coach on the field. It used to be that analysts could only coach the coaches, right? They could be in meetings with coaches. They could go over game plans and stuff like that. But they couldn't have contact with the players and couldn't coach on the field. That's no longer the case. Analysts can coach on the field. Analysts can wear headsets during games and coach during the games. Analysts are basically full-time coaches. The only difference between an analyst and the 10 full-time staff members is your full-time staff members can recruit off campus. It's really the only difference anymore. So, to bring this all full circle, in 2022, your special teams are atrocious. Bob Diaco comes in as a defensive analyst, and we remember what happened in fall camp. Jimmy Lindsey had a medical scare, the defensive line coach, and they shuffled the staff. John Jancic goes to coach defensive line, and then Bob Diaco went on field to coach outside linebackers, or the jack position is what it was called, coach the jack linebackers, and special teams. So Bob Diaco was your special teams coach in 2023. 2024, Diaco goes back to his analyst role. They bring in Slade Nagel. Remember, because you had Mike Denbrock, who was your OC and also coach your tight ends. Well, Denbrock leaves. You promote Joe Sloan, who's coaching your quarterbacks. You had to have somebody coach tight ends, so they bring in Slade Nagel. And they gave Nagel this sort of co-title of tight ends and special teams coach. But I'm not guessing at this. I'm telling you firsthand, my own two eyeballs. Went out to every practice at fall camp. The dude running the fall camp practices for special teams was Bob Diaco. Nagel was over there, but the dude running the drills, barking out the orders, demonstrating, where do you go, was Bob Diaco. He was effectively your special teams coordinator. And I understand there's things that didn't go great on special teams this year. But you were dramatically better this year on special teams than you had been. Keep in mind, Aaron Burrell, like if you go look up LSU's kick return coverage average, they're like 111th in the country. But they only allowed 8 kickoff returns all year. Every other one was a touchback by Aaron Burrell. He was phenomenal. He was all SEC this year as a kickoff specialist. Your kickoff returns, you were 3rd in the country in kickoff returns. You returned 2 for touchdowns. 2 different guys, by the way. Damian Ramos is a career 78% field goal kicker. Slade Roy had a really good 3 years. There were a couple of notable errant snaps this year, but had a really good 3 years. Really, the only spot you were bad was punting. And that's because Peyton Todd didn't really take the step, and Blake Ochsendorf, who you brought in, didn't have a great season. So you went and addressed that by bringing in Grant Chadwick out of the portal. All that to say, now Slade Roy is gone. Of course Slade Roy is gone. But now Slade Nagel is also gone. Slade Nagel's gone to Houston to become the new offensive coordinator for U of H. Good for him. It's a promotion. Good for him. So Brian Kelly, when people ask, well, is he going to hire a special teams coordinator? My point has been no, because he's got Bob Diaco. Well, now you don't have Bob Diaco. So who coaches your special teams? You got 2 options. You either hire maybe 3. You hire a special teams coordinator and find someone on staff to work with your tight ends. It's one option. You hire a tight ends coach and you divvy up the special teams duties on staff the way you did your first year, which was an abject failure. Or you do what you just did, which is you hire a tight ends coach and you find some analyst or somebody lingering out there who might be able to help you coach special teams the way Bob Diaco did. Either way, you were getting max value out of an analyst when Bob Diaco was here, but it's also not surprising that Diaco would leave to go get a full-time on-field role, as he can have an opportunity now to continue to elevate his career again to whatever he wants to be it a DC or a head coach again. I don't know. But to go have the opportunity to be on Bill Belichick's staff as a linebackers coach is a much better opportunity for Diaco than to stay at LSU as an analyst. So I understand him leaving, but it does complicate the issue now for Brian Kelly. I do not have a name for you. It's been kind of remarkable how quiet it's been around this coaching vacancy for LSU to replace Slade Nagel. I mean, Baton Rouge is a big country town, y'all. A lot of people around here talk. It's hard to keep secrets. And the fact that we haven't really heard names is a little perplexing. But Brian Kelly was at the coaches convention last week. And so it's not surprising the timing with the Diaco news, because the coaches convention, which happens every year, every coach and every agent who's looking for a job or looking to fill a job or looking to get their candidate in the running for a job, they're all at the coaches convention. So you typically have a lot of the moving chairs after the coaches convention. Like you have the first round of hires at the conclusion of the season, and then it's after the coaches convention. So the fact, though, now that your signing class is in tow, your portal class effectively is in tow, and you've added 2 tight ends without a tight ends coach, and now you do have the February signing period coming up, and the coaches convention is passed. The next thing is the start of spring. So you want to have your staff filled and done by the time spring football starts here in a couple of months. So I don't know that there's great urgency now, but with the NFL season ending for most everybody, the coaches convention in the rearview mirror, this is probably the time where you look to fill that void on your staff before you start spring ball. But Bob Diaco, listen, I mean, Brian Kelly, this was back in 2023. This was Brian Kelly in August of 2023 about Bob Diaco.
Bob Diaco, again, another guy that has been with me at a number of different stops, a great teacher, highly energetic. I know our special teams guys love coming to the meetings. He brings, like I said, a great passion to those teams, which I think we all know the game of special teams. Sometimes you need that. And I know that we're going to be sound fundamentally, and those guys are going to enjoy playing for him.
That was before the 2023 season. Now you've got to replace that guy who did a lot above and beyond what the business card or the description on the desk said. So Bob Diaco's off to North Carolina. Brian Kelly has a couple of spots here to fill. Thanks so much for watching the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified when we post a new video, and remember to support BetUS, where right now you can get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use that promo code YouTube150.